Hello everyone, my name is Kirby G with Kirby G's Points and Miles, and today I want to talk about gas station credit cards. When we think about the credit card game, one of the categories that is fairly high for most Americans is gas station spend. And something I want to look at is maybe an alternative to something like a City Custom Cash, which gives you 5x on its top category up to $500 a month, and one of those categories being gas stations. What kind of other options are there out there for maybe specific co-branded gas station credit cards? All right, so let's first look at the City Custom Cash. Like I said, it gives 5% cash back on your top spend category from a list of different categories and 1% cash back on everything else. So the most popular thing to do is pick whatever your highest spend category is, put it on the City Custom Cash, earn your 5x, and you're a happy camper. Some people, if you're lucky enough, maybe have 2, 3, 4, 5, 17 custom caches, and they're able to hit every single category at 5x. Good for those people. Currently, no city cards for me, but also as a welcome offer here, $200 cash back after $1,500 in the first 6 months. No annual fee. It is a nice little workhorse credit card here. Now, one of the categories I see a lot of people use this card for is specifically gas station spend. Just because there's a lot of credit cards out there that might give you 3x, but maybe you don't want that card, or it's kind of a tricky category for some people depending on what kind of credit card setup they have. So if they do not want to get into the city ecosystem for whatever reason, what other options are there for you? And the first credit card we're going to look at here is the Chevron credit card. Now, I do want to preface here, I'm looking at 4 different co-branded credit cards, but there are a lot more than that, and a lot of this does come down to what region of America you live in. So Chevron has the most gas stations in America, so we're going to go with Chevron first, and then I kind of went down the list, as well as some gas stations that I'm familiar with. If you live in Wisconsin, there is a Quick Trip debit card and Quick Trip debit card, which is my favorite gas station in the entire world. Go with debit card over the credit card, but that is a nice card. But we're not going to be going over some of those smaller chains here. So let's look at what the Chevron card has to offer here. So awesome, kind of a welcome bonus. Instead of giving you like actual cash, all these gas stations will give you an increased offering in your first few fill-ups. So again here, 65 cents off per gallon in fuel discounts within the first 30 days of getting the Chevron Techron Advantage credit card. Also, it's a nice little pre-qualified tool here, which is always nice. So you'll see here you'll earn 62 cents off as a bonus, and then you will normally only get 3%. So you will add those two together, get your nice 65 cents off per gallon for the first 30 days, which living in Southern California, gas can be anywhere between $4.40 and $5.20 here in my area. Something that I've learned about Southern California is that gas station prices are so different compared to gas stations right across the street from each other. I have a Chevron, which is always 50 cents more than the kind of more mom and pop independent gas station that is right across the street. Now, something that Chevron does, even though it tends to have more expensive gas prices, at least in my area, is that they also have this app that they have that allows you to earn a lot more cents off per gallon if you purchase things inside the gas station, or if you buy car washes. You can really stack up your rewards if you spend money inside of gas stations. Now, I personally might grab an energy drink during a long car ride, or maybe grab like a hot dog or something, again, if I'm on a long car ride, but it's not something I do a ton of just with my natural life. Luckily, I live fairly close to work. I don't have to fill up a ton. So this benefit here, were to earn an extra 10 cents off per gallon gas in statement credits when using your Techron Advantage Visa credit card at non-fuel merchants. If you spend $100, you earn 2 cents per gallon, and so on and so forth. So if you are putting money on these different non-fuel merchants, you can earn even more cents off per gallon of gas. That's something I've noticed with Chevron is they love stacking. For the average person, they're probably only going to get 3 cents off per gallon, which, to be honest, for some of these credit cards isn't that great. But if you're willing to play the game and stack, you can get 13 cents off per gallon of gas. If you spend a lot of money right away when you get this card, you might be able to stack all the way up to 75 cents per gallon of gas. So there are some ways to kind of play the game here with the Chevron card. Like I said, this is probably the weakest of all the cards we're going to look at today, but, it's not terrible. Also, it is a Synchrony card, or it is partnered with Synchrony Car Care Acceptance. So you can get 6 months of promotional financing when you use this credit card on a certain auto repairs. So auto repairs can be very expensive, and I know for a lot of Americans, they cannot really cover a $1,000 emergency expense. So having the opportunity to get some type of promotional financing over 6 months is nice. Even for myself, if I would have a $1,500 car bill, I would choose to spread that over 6 months if I could get 0% APR. Maybe keep that money in a high yield savings account, arbitrage that a little bit, just to kind of squeeze every penny I can. And again, like all of these cards, they do have no annual fee, which is nice at the very least. All right, so the next gas station credit card we are going to look at is the Shell credit card. Now they do have two different options here. You can have either the Shell Fuel Rewards MasterCard or the Shell Fuel Rewards credit card. So they do come with a few different perks. So let's take a look at them. So for the Shell Fuel Rewards MasterCard, you will earn 30 cents off per gallon on your first 5 Shell purchases made by the end of 2025. And then after that, you will get 10 cents per gallon, up to 35 gallons off per tank of gas. You will also get 10% Shell rebates on your first 1,200 Shell non-fuel purchases per year. So how I did some research on kind of how this looks is you'll spend the money, say $10, and then you will get a rebate for $1 on your credit card statement. So pretty nice if you do spend money inside of gas stations. And then you also get a 2% Shell rebate on your first $10,000 in dining and groceries purchases per year. Now, while this isn't ideal, there are a lot of great 3X cards out there for dining and groceries. But again, if you are looking for simplicity in your life and you just want to say, hey, I can get a 2% discount on all my dining and grocery purchases, that's kind of nice. Something that I've mentioned with a Quick Trip debit card in the past is that it gives you a 5% discount at the store. So if you buy hot food at a Quick Trip and you swipe your card, it'll immediately apply a 5% discount, which is really nice, which somebody would say, I'd rather have cash back and then transfer that to transfer partners and get 15 cents per point and make money that way. But sometimes it is just nice just to get a nice 2% discount on your credit card bill. Again, those looking for simplicity, on top of those who go to Shell gas stations, getting that 10% off or 10 cent per gallon off is pretty nice. And then again, if you use this card for any other reasons, you'll get a 1% Shell rebate. So, not great, but, like I said, at least there's that option out for you. And then through the loyalty program they have, you can also earn additional rewards by linking this card to other participating restaurants. And you can actually, again, stack those rewards at the pump when you decide to pump gas. So again, there are some nice options to play the game, stack your rewards, and, really cheapen your gas. And then if you look at the Shell Fuel Rewards credit card, is only usable at Shell gas stations versus, again, this MasterCard the Shell Fuel Rewards MasterCard is able to be used anywhere that accepts MasterCard. So again, this card is a little bit more limiting, but again, 30 cents off per gallon of gas for your first 5 fill-ups, and then after that, 10 cents per gallon up to 35 gallons for the rest of your time. And then again, you can stack your rewards, probably going through the app. I'm sure if you make certain purchases inside the gas station, they'll give you a couple extra cents per gallon. Again, if you are really into the stacking game here, you can put in a lot of work. Now, I personally, if I was going to choose a card, would choose the Shell Fuel Rewards MasterCard just because it gives you a little more flexibility. And if you're going to make purchases inside the gas station, a 10% discount on those purchases will be better than basically any other credit card you'd be putting it on. So, something to look into if you are filling up at Shell gas stations very often. The next credit card we're going to look at here is the ExxonMobil Smart Card Plus. Definitely a mouthful, but here you can see save 12% per gallon on a Synergy Supreme X Premium gasoline, save 10 cents per gallon on regular mid-grade and diesel fuels, and get 5% back on drinks, snacks, car washes, and more. Savings earned as a statement credit on the first $1,200 in non-fuel purchases per year. So this card, at least on this portal, does not give you some fancy 60 cents off per your first fuel fill-ups, but again, a nice 10 cents off per gallon for the average consumer. And if you do have a car that needs that premium gas, again, having that nice 12 cents off per gallon. This card is much more simple than some of the other cards. There's, at least on this portal, it does not mention any stacking opportunities, but I'm sure if ExxonMobil has an app, there are probably some ways that you can probably stack that. But this card, again, a lot more simple than compared to some of the other cards. And again, 5% back on any purchases inside the actual gas station. And then next, we're actually going to go over a credit card that my dad uses, which is the BP Rewards Visa card. So see here, save 50 cents per gallon on your every gallon at BP and Amoco stations for 60 days after account opening, and 15 cents off per gallon thereafter. 15 cents off per gallon of gas is the highest base level that we've seen on these credit cards here, and also 5x credit card points per $1 spent on non-fuel purchases, 3x credit card points on dining and food delivery purchases, and 3x credit card points per $1 on grocery purchases. So you really can kind of have this BP card be your gas card, it can be your food card, it can be your grocery card. It is a nice little card all wrapped in one card. Now, again, how you redeem these points is really for statement credits for the most part. So you're not going to be getting, again, you're not transferring to transfer partners and getting extra value. But if you're okay with using the cash back on this card to then go towards more gas purchases, this is a nice use of cash back. Now, this card is issued through the First National Bank of Omaha, but I just wanted to go on this site again. Same benefits, 50 cents off per gallon, first 60 days, 15 cents off per gallon after that. I just wanted to look at here, what can you actually use these rewards for? So, cashback, account statement credits, gift cards from major retailers, travel experiences, and more. So, if you decide to use this card for more than just gas, there are opportunities to acquire a decent amount of cash back and then use those points probably to get something like an Amazon gift card, or maybe get a gift card for a retailer that doesn't get a great multiplier for the rest of your credit card setup. This could be a nice utility card for people who are looking, again, for something a little bit more simple and are focused on cash back. Now, this card may not work for me, but for my dad, who fills up his tank and my mom's tank a lot of the time, and sometimes even my sister's tank, getting that 15 cents off per gallon of gas is something he is excited to get. And my dad is also someone who might, go inside the gas station and grab some snacks. So my dad is, saving an extra 5x on different non-fuel purchases. And I'm curious how much cash back he has acquired over the last couple years with this card that he doesn't even realize that he has. So I just want to bring up my trusty Google Calendar here to see how much money you could be saving with some of these credit cards versus using something like a City Custom Cash. Now, these are numbers that you would personally have to run with whatever gas station you frequent most, compared to how much gas you spend on a monthly basis. So for this purpose, let's say you have a 15-gallon tank. Now again, maybe yours is 12, maybe yours is 16. I'm just going to use some simple math here. And let's say your gas prices are $3 per gallon. Now again, if you're somewhere in the Midwest, maybe it's a little bit cheaper. Maybe if you're in California like I am, you're paying $4.40. Again, simple math here. So let's say you're spending $45 per fill up. And let's say you fill up twice a month. So you're spending $90. Again, everyone's numbers will be different. So let's say you used a City Custom Cash on that card. So if you're spending $90 a month, let's multiply that by 12. So you're spending $1,080 on gas per year. Well, you can earn 5x thank you points on that purchase, and you'll be getting 5,400 City thank you points. Now, what can you do with those City thank you points? You can transfer them out to partners like American Airlines, possibly redeem those for cash back if you'd like. So your value here is either anywhere from $54 if you just do 1 cent per point, all the way up to an infinite amount. But if you're getting, let's say, 2 cents per point, you can multiply this by 2, and you'll cut off these last 2 digits here. Maybe you're getting $108 in value. Now, if you're transferring to international business class, maybe you're getting 4 or 5 cents per point. But again, we're going to use some standard numbers here. And if you are using transfer partners, rule of thumb is you're probably getting 2 cents per point if you are making that choice. So we'll go from there. Now, instead, let's just say that you are using the BP card. Well, let's look at your 15-gallon tank. We're going to multiply that. Instead of the $3 per gallon, you're doing it $2.85 because you are saving 15 cents per gallon. So let's see here. You're spending $42.75 per month. You're going to multiply that by 2. You're spending $85.50 per month. And we'll multiply this by 12. You're spending $1,026 a year on gas. Now, what's funny about this math is that if you take what you would have spent on your City Custom Cash minus what you spent on your BP card, you actually save $54 per year by using the BP card over the City Custom Cash. Now, you are also earning, if we look at here, go back here, you're earning 5,400 points, which is, funny enough, the same amount. It's basically a wash. But again, if you are using those City Custom Cash City Thank You points for more than 1 cent per point, you would come out ahead. But again, for someone who is just looking at a cashback system here, there is no difference. Now, again, let's cherry pick some values here, and let's say you're spending $250 a month in gasoline. Let's take another quick look. So if you're spending $250 a month on gas, and you are doing that every single month for 12 months, you'd be spending $3,000 a year on gas. You can multiply that by 5, and you are getting 15,000 City Thank You points. So again, $150 worth of cash back, or maybe up to $300 worth of value if you got to partners, again, or that number could be infinite. So in order to hit that $250 per month gas bill, let's say you are filling up every single week, and that would mean you'd be spending $62.50 per fill up, and again, with a 15-gallon tank, on average, you'd be spending $4.16 per gallon of fuel. Again, maybe you're in Southern California, and it's cheap, which it's not going to be, but for this working process, let's go with there. And again, we're really close here, so instead of saying 4.01 repeating or something like that, let's just say you are spending $4 per gallon of gas. Multiply that by 15, and let's say you're spending $60 per fill up, multiplying that by 4. Now, if you worked all the way through all this math, at the end of the day, you will be saving $120 by using your BP card for fill ups. And if we think back to what the City Thank You point offer was, it was 3,000 times 5, which was basically $150 in cashback value. So again, your City Custom Cash comes out ahead. But you also have to think about things like opportunity costs. You could have been using your City Custom Cash on dining, or maybe you spend a lot of money on streaming services because you have every single one of them and you can't choose to cancel any of them. There is an opportunity cost to putting your City Custom Cash on fuel purchases. Now again, if you're not maxing the fuel purchases out every month, there is some lost money there, some would say, because maybe you're spending $500 on going out to eat every month, and you're only putting that on a 3X card. Why not put that $500 on a City Custom Cash and put your fuel purchases on the BP card? Again, these are different processes that every single person will have to work out themselves to see if the card works for them, and for some people, that's just too much effort. And I totally understand. No one wants to be using the Google Calendar at 12:30 on a Saturday. They could be watching college football. So again, some of these gas station credit cards could be great for the right person, but you just have to do the work to see if it works out for you. And if you don't want to do that work and just want to save 10 cents per gallon of gas, that is a great option as well. So I just want to thank everyone for watching this video today. Gas station credit cards are something that I have looked into over the years. While they don't really fit my setup at the moment, for, again, people like my dad who just want to save that extra 15 cents per gallon of gas and they normally fill up at a BP, that card works great for him. I would be curious, how much cash back does he have on his BP card that he doesn't even know about? I should probably ask him about that and see how much money he's racked up over the last couple of years. But if you're interested in videos like this, I do love going over weird co-branded credit cards. I do have a couple videos in the playlist that you can see. YouTube will also put some videos on the screen as well that they think you might be interested in. If you would love to join me on my road to 100 subscribers, I am almost there, just about a little less than 40 subscribers away, and I'd love to hit that goal by the end of the year. So again, thank you for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.